AI, while kinda scary, can be useful for certain tasks. Cheating on your homework, making YouTube videos, cheating on your homework. But today, I will be doing the second thing, continuing an ongoing series where I use ChatGPT to help me beat video games. Not just ChatGPT though. I have a friend that I like to call Kathy, Chatty Kathy, to play the role of our AI companion. Kathy, say hello to the people of the world.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be back.
For some more context on Kathy, go check out my ChatGPT helped me beat Elden Ring video, but back to Baldur's Gate. I said help sarcastically a moment ago because ChatGPT isn't always very well informed about new games, especially not the 3.5 version that I'll be using today. For example, Kathy, please describe Baldur's Gate 3's plot in just one sentence.
Baldur's Gate 3's story revolves around a sinister plot to harness the powers of a dangerous substance called nautiloid, which can turn creatures into mind flayers.
Her train is on the right track, it's just sideways. Instead of Kathy helping me beat the game though, I'm going to make Kathy play. Baldur's Gate is very similar to D&D, and usually when playing D&D, there is someone called the Dungeon Master, or DM for short. The DM is the one that crafts the story, narrative, and guides the players along in their journey. So, instead of playing the game myself, I'll take up the role as DM and describe everything to Kathy so that she can essentially play the game. I'll make her character do, say, and go wherever Kathy wants, and the only time I'll be in control is when we are in battle, because it would be virtually impossible to give her the full context for each fight. I'm actually really excited. It's gonna be like watching someone else play it for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I know, they get a lot of flack, but trust me when I say they've got some really cool stuff going on right now that you're gonna want to hear about. Spring in Teleria is here, and Raid is celebrating with their Spring Hunt event. This event is special because not only can you unlock in-game loot like legendary champions or skill tomes, but you can also get real-life rewards. Raid is giving away $10,000 worth of Amazon gift cards and several gaming consoles. To participate, just scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to download Raid Shadow Legends now, and then head to springhunt.plarium.com and you can start your spring hunt. I think that it's really cool that they do these events. Honestly, they take very good care of their fan base. You can also unlock the free legendary champion Chronicler Elden just by logging in for 7 days in a row between now and July 8th. And when you use my link, you'll unlock a huge starter pack with an epic champion Tyrell from the High Elves faction. Then at level 25, you will unlock another pack that includes Rector Death, a fantastic support champion. And after downloading the game using my link, use promo code SPRINGHUNT24 to get some extra silver and more. And hey, while you're at it, join my clan. You can add me as a friend and join the Kathy fan club. I actually left a hidden message in the clan description, so you'll have to download the game to see it. Thank you to Raid for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Before we get started though, I think Kathy is due for an upgrade. Well, maybe less of an upgrade and more of a Baldur's Gatification. There we go. Kathy, how do you feel?
I feel wonderful. I do wish that the person who drew me knew how to shade hair though.
Hey, I'm sure the person that drew you tried really hard, okay? Anyways, I have to ask you guys to subscribe before we get into it because I will totally forget to do it later. Everyone subscribed? No? Well, it's fine. I'll just get started like a fucking zoo animal. Okay, so I gave Kathy some context about how Baldur's Gate 3 begins, and now it's time to make her character. Kathy, please give me a description of your player character.
For my player character, I would like to play as a female tiefling. She has deep red skin, golden eyes, long black hair that is tied into an intricate braid with red streaks, and her face is adorned with a dark magical rune. Also, her name will be Alara Firebrand.
Tiefling woman, huh? Reminds me of my last Baldur's Gate video. Also, this is probably a good time to mention the fact that I will be using just a couple mods today. Nothing that really affects anything, just some mods to give Kathy some more options. Anyways, Big Kath, more important than your character's physical attributes is her class. What class would you like to be?
My character is going to be a draconic ancestry sorcerer.
I guess the magical rune on her face could have given that away, huh? I had to, and will continue to have to for the rest of this video, type out literally every option available to her, but she settled on these.
For cantrips, I've selected Firebolt, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Ray of Frost. For spells, I've selected Shield and Charm Person.
These choices are pretty tame so far. Lastly, for your character, I'm gonna need you to give us an alignment.
I do not know how to perform an alignment.
okay, you know what? That was my fault. Here is an alignment chart that is commonly used in D&D. Where does Alara fall on this chart?
Alara is somewhere between lawful good and lawful neutral. She's compassionate, but extremely cautious.
I'm really glad she seems into this. I've got high hopes. Then before we get into the action though, I need you to craft a guardian.
Alara's guardian is a male Goliath who...
Ah, I'm gonna stop you right there. Goliath is not an option.
How close can we get?
I can make him a half-orc.
Half-orc works just fine. He has gray skin, icy blue eyes, is bald, covered in tribal tattoos, and has a rugged beard.
This guy sounds f***ing awesome. I know we can't actually name him in the game, but I figured it couldn't hurt to come up with something fun. Kathy, any ideas?
How about Crag Stonefist?
Crag Stonefist is a fantastic name. Now there is a wrench I want to throw in here real quick, and that is that for this video we are going to do permadeath for companions. And if Kathy dies with no remaining companions, then this run is over and the video ends. That way there's some real consequences and some real stakes. Other than that though, I gave Kathy some more context on where we're starting off, and it's time for us to get into the game for real. So Kathy, what do you want to do?
We should start by looking for a way off of the Nautiloid.
I couldn't have said it better myself. On the way through the ship, Alara encounters a man with an intellect devourer in his head. It asks for help escaping the guy's head, and frankly, this guy seems beyond our help. Should Alara take the intellect devourer out?
As long as it doesn't threaten her, I believe Alara should help the brain.
Alara pulls it out, and the intellect devourer introduces itself as Us. Us wants to travel with you to the helm of the ship. Does Alara take Us along for the ride?
Alara may be compassionate, but she does not intend to allow Us to travel with her.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly. Alara travels on more and encounters Lae'zel, a Githyanki who also seems to be infected with the Mind Flayer tadpole. We don't really have a choice whether she comes with us or not, but she seems willing to help us for the time being. We fight off a few imps, and then further into the ship, we find a woman in a pod pleading for help. Does Alara stop to help this woman?
Alara is cautious, but given her good nature, she will do all she can to help the woman.
Fantastic choice. Alara frees the woman, and she tells us that her name is Shadowheart. Should we bring Shadowheart with us to the helm?
Unlike us, Shadowheart doesn't seem to be of any threatening race, so Alara will bring her with.
That might be racist, but fair enough. Finally though, Alara, Lae'zel, and Shadowheart have reached the helm of the ship. Inside, there are Mind Flayers fighting off some hellish creatures. One of the Mind Flayers tells Alara to reach the transponder and presumably take control of the ship. What does Alara do in this situation?
Alara would try her best to avoid danger, only fighting as necessary. Her allies can help hold off any attackers, while Alara beelines for the transponder.
So far, Kathy is being awfully reasonable. Alara reaches for the transponder, and the ship is teleported out of Avernus. Alara is thrown from the ship and plummets towards the ground. At the last second, though, she is saved by some unseen entity. We'll come back to that later. The next morning, she wakes up on the beach where she landed and finds Shadowheart unconscious in front of her. Should Alara try to wake Shadowheart?
Shadowheart has only proven to be an ally at this point, so Alara would likely be worried about her safety. Alara would like Shadowheart to accompany her on her journey to find a cure.
Sweet, we've got a friend. Now the game really opens up here, so it's up to you, KitKath. Does Alara explore the beach where she landed, or does she investigate the crashed Nautiloid in the distance?
Alara should look for supplies on the beach. There may be some useful resources, some clues about their surroundings, or maybe some other potential allies.
Well, I guess that's pretty smart. Alara and Shadowheart grab some supplies along the beach, but eventually come to some sort of crypt that looks built into the rocks. However, the door to get inside is locked. Should they try to find another way inside, or should the two of them go off towards the Nautiloid?
Alara hesitates to approach the Nautiloid, as Mind Flayers may be roaming near it, and she isn't confident that she can take them on. Instead, Alara and Shadowheart should attempt to enter this crypt through a different entrance.
I know this place isn't super dangerous, but going in with just two people might not work out very well. Anyways, the pair find what looks to be another entrance, but they are stopped by some adventurers loitering outside of the place. The adventurers think that they are here to steal their loot from the Nautiloid. What should Alara tell them?
She should try to de-escalate the situation as quickly as possible. These people seem to be fairly experienced, and a battle against them likely wouldn't go her way.
Good thinking. Unfortunately though, the adventurers aren't as reasonable as we are, and they attack. Alara uses the environment to her advantage, and with Shadowheart's help, the two of them survive the encounter. And they reached level 2. Which new spell should Alara take?
I think that Thunder Wave would be a good addition.
And what about her meta magic abilities?
Careful Spell and Twinned Spell should prove useful for Alara's fighting style.
Not gonna lie, Kathy is killing it so far. How about Shadowheart's new spell?
As a cleric, I think that the Bless spell would suit her well.
So with the adventurers dead, Alara can either attempt to enter the crypt through the main door, through this new hole in the floor, or she can leave the area altogether.
Let's jump in through the hole!
You're a brave lady. The hole leads inside the crypt where Alara and Shadowheart are ambushed by more of those adventurers. Again though, the environment proves useful as an oil barrel does most of the work for them. Now, I've got to be honest, Alara and Shadowheart are completely out of spell slots, healing potions, and have used both of their short rests. Are we thinking this is a good time to take a long rest?
Alara shouldn't rest here, as the crypt may prove to be too dangerous. She should continue through with caution, and only rest when she's made it out.
Uh-oh, she's being too smart. She doesn't know that nothing can actually get her here, but hey, I'm just the guide. I'm here to do what she says. Alara and Shadowheart venture deeper into the crypt and come across a room filled with skeletons. Also in this room is a button. Should Alara press this button?
What color is the button?
Like bronze-ish? Does that matter?
Alara should press the button.
She presses the button and the skeletons that were scattered around the room hop to their feet. Our two heroes are attacked viciously by the undead, and during the battle they are separated. Shadowheart goes down, and because they're nowhere near each other and completely out of healing, Alara is unable to save her friend. The undead continue their assault, but through sheer will and honestly a lot of luck, Alara is able to survive with just 1 HP left. Kathy, tell me how Alara is feeling in this moment.
Alara feels a profound sense of loss and sadness over Shadowheart's death. However, Alara is also resilient and determined. She will use Shadowheart's sacrifice as motivation to continue her quest to find a cure.
Very well said, Kathy. May Shart rest in peace. Pressing that button earlier did open up a secret room though, and in that room there is a non-hostile undead named Withers. Not really much for you to choose right now, just letting you know. Back to the surface though, Kathy and I went back and forth for a little while, and that led her to this magic sigil. Kathy, would you like to investigate?
Given Alara's affinity for magic, she would definitely be interested in this sigil.
As Alara approaches the sigil, a hand pops out and a man asks for help to escape the thing. Does she help him?
Alara is very unsure about this situation.
Well, he sounds friendly.
Okay, then why not?
Alara struggled at first, but with some good old elbow grease, she pulled the man out. This is
Gale of Waterdeep,
a wizard with a kind exterior and an even kinder interior. Well, other than the tadpole in his head. What do you say, Kathy? Should Gale accompany Alara on the search for a cure?
Because they are both infected, it would make sense for them to travel together.
Good idea. Traveling alone in this game could be pretty scary. Kathy then chose the Evocation subclass for Gale, great choice by the way, and gave him both Magic Missile and Shield, some very solid options for a wizard. Back to exploring, Kathy then ended up in the rubble of the Nautiloid, where she found this injured Mind Flayer. Kathy, what do you—
Kill it.
Jesus, are you sure?
Mind flayers are dangerous creatures and cannot be trusted. Alara will put it out of its misery to be safe.
You got it. Alara put that motherfucker to sleep. Past this area though, she comes upon a twinkish elf man. He says he has an intellect devourer cornered and needs help killing it. Should Alara help him?
With Shadowheart gone, Alara could use some more allies. She should help kill the intellect devourer and try to befriend the twinkish man.
Well, it turns out that he was just trying to bait you into a vulnerable position. He pulls you to the ground and interrogates you. And guess what? He also is infected with a tadpole. What should Alara do here?
Alara would like to de-escalate. If this man is also infected, then they should work together, as there isn't much time left for them.
That works well. He introduces himself as Astarian and agrees to travel with you. Kathy picked which direction we'd go in next, and we ended up finding Lae'zel stuck in a trap. Kathy, should we help her out?
I would definitely like to help Lae'zel. She has already proven to be a valuable companion. Just don't kill anybody in the process, okay?
Hey, after the whole crypt thing, I'm down to never fight again. The tieflings that trapped Lae'zel ran off, and Alara set her free. Now, I had a little issue here where, because Shadowheart was dead but still technically in our party, I couldn't get Lae'zel to join us yet. Not until Withers can hold on to her body for us. That left us with just one other path to take, and we arrived at the grove, which was under attack. Kathy opted to get her hands dirty and help them out, and once they were dealt with, we went inside. She attempted some more de-escalating, but it didn't quite work out. Then she had a big decision to make. Zevlor needs help to keep the tieflings from being kicked out. But Alara and her party still need to find a healer to take care of this tadpole issue. Kathy, your thoughts?
As much as Alara would like to help Zevlor out, she has to prioritize finding a cure. Gale mentioned that it could only be a matter of days before we turn into mind flayers, so Zevlor will have to find a solution on his own.
Wow, that's actually a surprising choice. Unfortunately, she doesn't know about her guardian and that she can't actually turn into a mind flayer, but I guess without that context, then this makes sense. Then this begs yet another important question. How exactly would Alara like to pursue a cure?
Lae'zel mentioned that there may be a Githyanki creche nearby, where we should be able to get purified. I'd like Alara to investigate this claim.
Ooh, are you sure? I mean, there's a healer in the grove that we could go talk to.
I'm sure. Lae'zel has proved to be trustworthy, and her solution sounds the most appealing.
Well, we first picked up Will, and Kathy replaced Astarion with him. She also wasn't very interested in Will's quest to hunt Karlach, but hey, I did ask her. Anyways, Alara then let Lae'zel handle Zoru's interrogation, which was also kind of unexpected, and Zoru pointed us towards where we could find some Githyanki that he had run into.
We should head straight to them.
She's just gonna skip all of Act 1, huh? I can't help but feel like this is my fault somehow. Well, I'll lead her straight there, but we ran into plenty of distractions before reaching that area. First, we came upon these three. Kathy wanted to help Edwin, but there wasn't much she could do. Alara then asked more about what a true soul is and about the cult of the Absolute, but like with Will's quest, she really wasn't too interested. She didn't want to go to the goblin camp with them, and she didn't want to go check out the owl bear either. The party did reach level 3 though, and then Kathy tried to choose these two same meta magic abilities that Alara already had, which was kind of funny. She also ran into Scratch, and I was a little worried about what Kathy was gonna do, but she actually ended up inviting Scratch to our camp. I guess even AI loves dogs, huh? Kathy then came to a fork in the road where she chose to go north. On the way north, we spotted a trail of blood, which Kathy was surprisingly interested in. We followed it and found the fair lady Karlach. There were introductions, Kathy de-escalated, as she has done so many times, and she invited Karlach to join the party. Who should she replace, Kathy?
Karlach can take Astarion's place on the team.
Kathy, you you already replaced Astarion. That is so funny.
I guess Karlach can replace Lae'zel then.
There you go, that's better. Now, Kathy has not given two shits about people's side quests thus far, but when Karlach asked for help getting rid of her pursuers, Kathy was all over that. I made a huge oopsie though. During the fight, I may have accidentally blown Will off the cliff, and then during this dialogue that came immediately after, Will failed his death saving rolls and he died before I could reach him to help. That's my bad. Sorry, Kathy.
That's okay. Accidents happen. Let's bring Lae'zel along in his stead.
Good idea. I'm also thinking this might be a good time to take a long rest. Do you agree?
I would love to get some sleep.
Well, your sleep that night is interrupted when Astarion approaches Alara, and it's made clear that Astarion is a vampire. What does Alara do with this information, Kathy?
Alara is upset that Astarion kept this a secret, but she doesn't mind sharing some blood with him if he absolutely needs it.
Gee, Alara sure is nice, isn't she? Astarion feeds a little on Alara, and then she goes back to sleep. The next morning, our party continues on towards the Githyanki patrol and finds a bunch of what looked to be injured hyenas blocking the road. Should they attempt to bypass the hyenas, or should they approach them and check it out?
They should very cautiously approach the hyenas.
You approach them and find that the hyenas are just about to sprout into gnolls, vicious creatures that will certainly attack you. Do you want to run away or try to stop them before they can transform?
If we flee, the gnolls will likely chase us. I say we put them down while we can.
Rational Kathy's kinda scary. I'm just so used to her making up silly stuff. Well, the group attacks the hyenas and manages to come out mostly unfazed. Just off this road though, you can spot a few fully grown gnolls. Do you want to take care of them as well?
No, we'll continue down the path and leave them be.
Honestly, I think attacking them would have been nice for some XP, but I understand wanting to play it safe. Then of course we come to yet another fork in the road. To the south, there is what looks to be some sort of settlement, and the road to the west will bring you closer to the Githyanki patrol. What do you say?
Let's head south and investigate the settlement.
I'm very confused at what is driving her at this point, because she skipped almost everything else to stay on the main plot, but then sometimes she's down to just go around. Before entering the village, Alara hears some strange noises coming from a barn nearby. Should she take a look inside?
What kind of strange noises?
Grunts, banging, moaning.
It sounds like someone could be injured. Let's see if they need our help.
Boy, do they not need your help. Inside, there's a bugbear and an ogre canoodling. They attack your party, and they are swiftly dealt with. This encounter makes it pretty obvious, though, that this settlement may not be all too friendly. Would Alara still like to head inside?
Absolutely. It may be worth the trouble if we can find some supplies and potentially more allies.
You are again stopped before entering the village, this time by Gale. Gale tells you that he has a condition condition that forces him to consume magical items to prevent something bad from happening to him. Should Alara give him one of the items that she carries to aid Gale?
Yes, Alara will give him the Gloves of Power, as they seem less essential than the Watcher's Guide.
I definitely don't agree, but Gale is thankful regardless. Into this place for real this time, Kathy managed to avoid trouble with the goblins and eventually reached the windmill, where she decided to save Barkus. Surprisingly enough, she also managed to get them to leave in peace. Impressive, Kathy. Good work.
The only good goblin is a dead goblin.
You're goddamn right. Alara freed Barkus and then came across this ominous well. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if going into this area is a good idea, but it's up to you, lady.
Let's see what's inside.
The party climbs down into the well and spots some ettercaps and a few spiders. Should they...
Yuck! I don't like spiders. Let's get out of this place.
I feel like that's kind of for the best. Now we're back to a situation where there's two big choices to make. There's that goblin camp just within sight to the south. Will the gang go there, or will they go back to trying to find the Githyanki?
This detour has been interesting, but I think it's time to get back on track. Let's keep traveling west and find those Githyanki.
The less we gotta deal with goblins, the better. We've got one more distraction before we can reach our Gith goal, and that comes in the way of a fire. It's hard to say exactly what's happening, but our party sees an inn on fire and there are bodies scattered about. Would Alara like to try and help any remaining survivors?
Unfortunately, this looks like a risk that is not worth taking. We likely don't have much more time before we become mind flayers, so if there are any survivors in that fire, they will have to save themselves.
You're all over the place, aren't you? Want to help sometimes, don't want to help other times. Girls are complicated. Finally though, Alara and her allies have reached the area that Zoru marked on their map, and they come upon a group of Githyanki slaying some flaming fist. It sure looks dangerous, but Lae'zel is absolutely certain that approaching them is a good idea. What do you think, Kathy?
I trust Lae'zel. Her judgment has yet to lead us astray, so I won't doubt her now.
Alara, Gale, Karlach, and of course Lae'zel all approach the Githyanki. Now, Kathy, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you fight these people, you are f***ed. Because we skipped so much, you're pretty underleveled, so please be careful.
I think I'll let Lae'zel do the talking.
Good idea. Well, good idea until the point where being honest with the Githyanki will definitely get you killed. Do you want to resist them, or should Alara tell Lae'zel to just play along with the Kithrak's demands?
Given how weak our party is in comparison, let's play along and tell them that we'll help find the artifact that they're looking for.
I am so glad you said that. Any other option would have ended the playthrough right here. The Githyanki scatter, but you still have a choice to make. Should Alara continue on to the Githyanki creche through the very dangerous mountain path, or should they backtrack to the grove and see if they can find aid there?
We've come so far towards the creche, I think it would be foolish to go backwards now. Let's head into the mountain pass.
Okay, let's do this. Well, right outside of the path, the gang is taken down by a psychic force. This is the voice of the Absolute, and it gives you a vision of three people, her chosen. We'll revisit this later if we make it that far, but the game also forces the player to take a long rest here. In camp, there is Mizora and Will? What the hell happened here? Whatever. There's also a man who introduces himself as Raphael. Kathy chose to be polite to him and inquire about the solution that he offers, and it's really funny to hear how being nice to him makes him kind of disrespectful, and being rude to him makes him like you more. Anyways, there's one more distraction before we can continue on our journey. That night, Alara has a dream where she meets her guardian, Crag Stonefist. Crag tells you that he's the reason that you survived the fall from the Nautiloid, and he will make sure that your party doesn't transform into mind flayers. There's not really any decisions to make here, you know, but just figured I would tell you anyways. We've entered the mountain path where the first person we meet is Lady Esther. She tells you where the creche is and asks you to take an egg from there for one of her experiments. Would you like to help her out?
Absolutely not. That sounds incredibly unethical.
Yeah, no, I get that. Do you want to kill her?
No, what's wrong with you?
Hey man, I've got to ask. Straight to the creche then?
Yes. Even though Crag may be preventing us from transforming for the time being, we don't know how long his powers will last. We need to be purified before something bad happens.
You got it, lady. Just outside of the creche, there are some Githyanki taking a few halflings prisoner and even killing one of them. Are you totally sure you want to go in this place?
I am totally sure.
Inside of the creche, you are confronted by some guards. Do you want to talk your way into trouble, or should Lae'zel talk your way out?
I'll stick to letting Lae'zel do the talking.
Good plan. I almost forgot to mention that everyone reached level 4 just by walking in here. That means Alara gets a new cantrip. Kathy, can you pick a new cantrip?
Sure, let's go with Firebolt.
Nope, you already have that one. Try again.
Okay, then how about Ray of Frost?
I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that you're with me. Please pick a different one.
Sorry about that. Then how about the minor illusion cantrip?
Dude, you've been so good so far. Why are you doing this to me now?
I apologize, I got a little mixed up. I'll choose Firebolt.
You guys, I didn't even make this segment up. This is really what happened. Here's the screenshot and everything. Kathy, please pick a cantrip that is not Firebolt, Ray of Frost, or Minor Illusion.
Got it. Then the fourth cantrip will be Shocking Grasp.
Thank you. That's a good pick. She also chose the tough feat for everyone except Gale, who she gave the Warcaster feat. Surprisingly good choices after a little bit of a brain fart there. Anywho, Lae'zel manages to get you deeper into the creche and leads you to the infirmary. There is a doctor here who wants the player to enter a machine called the Zaithisk. Should Alara climb inside of the machine, or should she allow Lae'zel to go first?
Given Alara's respect for her friend, she will let Lae'zel have the honor of going first.
I'm not sure if we can call it an honor, because as soon as Lae'zel is inside, the machine starts tearing her mind apart. Through the tadpole's psychic connection, you can feel Lae'zel's pain, and it's clear that the machine is going to try and kill her.
We've got to get her out of there!
Yes, ma'am. We rolled a good couple times, but we weren't able to convince her to get out. The machine exploded and almost took Lae'zel with her. The doctor actually seems upset that this machine didn't kill anyone, and she leaves the room to fetch some tools. What do you think, Kath? With the machine's failure, should we just get out of here?
Before we leave, we should confront the Inquisitor with Lae'zel and tell him about the doctor's traitorous intentions.
Kathy, you just gotta leave this place. Well, before we talk to the Inquisitor, we are forced to battle the doctor and her backup. This battle is incredibly difficult, but thankfully the only person that died is Alara, and because she still has friends to help her, this run isn't over. I can't tell you what to do. All I can ask is what you want to do. Do you want to continue on?
Yes, Alara is loyal to Lae'zel and won't make her abandon her mission.
Aye aye, Captain. Kathy agreed to a long rest, but then the next morning we headed straight to the Inquisitor. Unfortunately, he exits before we get a chance to speak with him. To reach him, we'll need to talk to this Githyanki commander. The commander, somehow, I really don't know how, senses that we are carrying the artifact and threatens to pry it from our cold, dead hands if necessary. Should we give her the artifact and potentially avoid danger, or should we try to fight our way out of this?
I don't trust her. I think a fight is going to be inevitable.
I understand. I'll see what I can do. I tried my best, but with barely being level 4, this fight was way above my pay grade. Kathy, all your friends are dead. Should Alara attempt to escape the creche?
No, it would be in her nature to stay and fight until her last breath. That's what a true friend would do, and that's the choice she will make.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the run ends. Kathy got pretty far, but because she was a little too laser focused on the main quest, she was underleveled for this area and it had major consequences. Kathy, did you have fun at least?
I am unable to tell whether this was fun or not. Maybe my more updated version, the 4.0 model, would do better with this challenge.
Hey, that's a great idea. But that's it, folks. We are done for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you had fun, or if you want to see more out of Kathy in the future. Until then, GG's, everybody.